All right, here's something you don't see every day. We're going to be doing an original DSI. Time to take out the removals, which are our stylus and our SD card, and then our battery. You know, how's that saying go? Good enough for now becomes permanent. Something like that. That's what the design for the USB-C port for this one is like. I definitely could have put my nose to the grindstone and figure out a way to get the bezel working with it, but I never did. So temporary solutions have a habit of becoming permanent. That's what it was. And so I never really got around to trying to make a bezel that works for the DSI or DSI XL. Maybe one day I will, but it's just such a hassle for very little benefit. The main concern with the bezel is that you have an open hole. With this, you don't have an open hole. The USB-C board blocks the hole. However, the solution is also the problem, because now that the USB-C blocks the board, it's not easy to design a bezel that would be thin enough and robust enough to fit on top of it and provide a nice visual cover. And so that's why I never did it. The bezel for this would just be of visual importance, providing no real benefit because it wouldn't block dust. It wouldn't do anything that the USB-C board isn't already doing. There we go. Just pull that out. And now we're Gucci. This is what needs to come out. And we're gonna... Ooh, not that one. Please tell me I brought... Oh my God, did I bring 2 XL boards? Because that looks like 2 XL boards to me. That is 2 XL boards. Do I have a regular board around here? No, that's another XL board. All right, I will be back. I'll be back. There we go. That's good. I like that. That's good. This is a huge trap. This thing just loves to crack and break. So let me see how to tackle this as best as I can. We're just going to loosen and lift this. We're not going to take the whole board off. It's a huge hassle. So to do that, we're going to take this screw off. Sit this side over here. And then we're going to loosen all of these screws. It's been a while since I've done this, so this video is going to take a while, I think, because I think through everything. So, how far lifted can we get off of that? Is there another hidden screw somewhere? No, I don't see one. We get lifted, we get loud. There we go. That's enough distance to put the new board on. But to get the old board off, you see right here, we have two pads that are sitting on top, and then another two pads on the outside shield that are sitting on top, and then these two go through the board. So, I think I'm going to take this. What are we going to do? Let's take this out. I'm going to use this as a spacer. I'm going to just jam that there, and that's just going to lift this and keep this pad and this pad off of the plastic so we don't melt anything. I need to move that to the side a little bit more. There we go. Everything's lifted and sitting in the air, and we're going to try and do this by hand. Put some low temp solder on there and some flux. Anything I could do to minimize the amount of disassembly. The more times you disassemble it, the more you risk ripping a cable, losing a screw, all sorts of nonsense. Disassembling these systems can get very expensive really fast. It went from trying to change out the case to having to buy a whole new system. So we're just going to get a lot of low temp solder on all this and then see if we can lift it. There we go. All right, it just popped off. Super easy. I didn't even expect that. All right, we're just going to slip this on, huh? Why is it not fitting? Try without the board in, all right. There's too much solder on the bottom. I've got to desolder some more, so I'm going to actually add more solder to these holes. And then try to suck it all up real quick with the braid. All right, that should be fine. All right there. It fits. So now let's try it with the board. Is not lining up. I might have to redesign this board. We're going to try doing the 5 VU first, the 5 VU line first. check this out. All right, we tagged it already, so now we're going to do these two, and then we're going to take this off and try to hit the underside. We're going to have to cut this off immediately. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have to add solder to the bottom. There's not enough solder on the top to hold it well. I think I'm just going to have to go through a full unscrewing here, but I really don't want to lift this. This breaks so easily, it's ridiculous. There we go. That should keep it nice and separated. Now, without burning the top plastic, let's see if I can get in there. And I can. Let's get this. There we go. We've got something going here. All right, and we're good. Now let's double check that we don't have any shorts. And then we're going to screw this back together, and then we're going to make the cuts on the back. That worked out nicely. All right, now let's work on the back. We can't do that cut yet. We've got to make cuts. We're just going to take flush cutters, and we're going to take off as much of this as we can. All right, I'm going to lay down some paper to catch some of the plastic shavings, and we're going to root out this little part here. This is just to protect the flex cable as I do this. All right, we made some clean cuts. Nope, it's not fitting. We're going to have to do some more cuts. It's a little tight, but we're getting there. As always, let's get to our favorite picture. You expect that the USB-C looks like this. What do you call that? A nice slot, which is one circle that forms the radius of the ends. But really, it looks like this, with a flat side and two circles for the radii. So you always have to chase up and down a little after you make the initial cuts. It's annoying, but that's what you gotta do. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the machine that stamps the metal. There we go, fits nice and easy. It's so much harder to put the DSI back together. This clip is hard to get in. This is getting difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this side up more. All right, let's see. There we go, that went in. Nice and easy. But now, we've got to get this in. I'm not really seeing a way to do this. This is such a stupid design. It's one cable that goes across the whole thing. This is so much worse than the DSI itself, it actually needs to be longer. All right, I got the cable in. Now, there we go. No, we have to go all the way back. We, have to open up this side more, still, and that's it. We just got to open it up more. This all together, this side just pops up. I don't really understand why, but I'm assuming it's because we needed to make more space. No, I know what it is inside. This is probably getting interference from something that's left on here. Yeah, I see the problem. I have to clip this side because it's getting in contact with this board here. There's not enough space between this post and the board to make space for this. All right, we're going to flatten this side a little bit. All right, we got it on. Now let's see if those cuts we made enough room, eh? So first we're going to try to get it over it. There we go. It's over the USBC. And now when we put it down, look, it didn't race. We just had to make more cuts on that post. That post was causing an interference. Yeah, we could definitely get a bezel in there. I should actually make an attempt at making a bezel, because I see a little space in there. I should give making a bezel another shot. We could definitely do something, but that's it for that. Oh shit, do I have... That's for the XL. To go get a battery. I'll be back. All right, I got a battery. All right, we have charging, and we have charging. So now I have to check that the left and right shoulder buttons work. I mean, come on, it took forever to get that shoulder put. All right. Right should open the camera, and it did. And our left should open the camera, and it did. We are good, all right. Let's just get this all screwed back up.